Hello, darlings. Labor Day weekend, so back in August 31st, I stepped on a splinter and gave myself a staph infection. So this is going to be part woo, part medicinal, how to heal yourself, okay? Now, part of the reason it's going to be part woo is because everything comes together to make an overall picture. Okay, so you got to rewind back to August. Okay, August 28th, we had a Schumann spike to 35. We had been, kind of normal, whatever. We had a big Schumann spike. August 30th was the Pisces full moon. It's the blue moon, so like meaning we had two blue moons or two full moons in the month of August, and so that makes it a blue moon because it doesn't happen very often, whatever. And so that kind of that blue moon in Pisces is like a turning point in your healing. It's like that now is the time to release the shit that does not serve you, right? Okay, so that night is the night that I had the download that Mr. Amazing was done. That was, done. And then I kept hearing she's fucking crazy, right? So that was that night. So on Friday, I was instructed to take my vision board down that had pictures of he and I on it. I was instructed to do a couple other things, and then for whatever reason, I drove down to Stillwell, which is where I used to live, where I threw the parade for, all that. I drove down there and went to the park, which is a great little park that I helped. I threw it. Other people helped me. The grand opening park, the party for it that I talked about in one of my Divine Union videos. So for whatever reason, I was instructed to go walk in the park. Okay, cool. Went and walked in the park. And I was told to take my shoes off and ground. And then I started meandering. I was looking at the vegetation, seeing, because this was, prime harvesting things out of nature time. And I'm in a park that would be a great place to harvest some stuff. And I walk over in an area that had just been brush hogged. And over in this area, I stepped on a stick of something that had been larger in its previous time. Got a pretty good splinter. Didn't think twice. I didn't realize it at the time. It just kind of was like, oh, that hurt, like you step on a stick, it fucking hurts, right? That night, I got drunk, drowned in my sorrows, and it didn't take much because I hadn't been drinking for quite a while. And then I sent that was the night I sent the message, that last message to Mr. Amazing saying, you'll never find anyone like me. And made peanut butter and waffles for dinner for my kid and I, because that's what I, had in me at the time. Anyway, so on second was Saturday. Life went on. I was hungover, but I finally noticed that I had a big old chunk of a splinter in my foot and dug out what I could, mid-afternoon or so. And then didn't think twice about it, right? I mean, it was just a fucking splinter. There was no blood. It wasn't like it was gushing blood. There was no blood. It was like the splinter. You ever, catch something just under the skin? I thought I was good. Then by the 3rd, so Sunday, I woke up and it was angry. It was really not happy at me. So I went and did a bentonite clay and Epsom salts soak for 20 minutes. I did a bath. Then I put a ginger garlic, I want to say castor oil, poultice on it. but it might have been just ginger and garlic, like, you know, crushed. It was fresh. Everything's fresh is that I could get my hands on. Put that on and laid down to do my 1 hour meditation, and then ended up taking a nap afterwards, because once I was done with my meditation, I was like, oh, I like being here. I'm going to stay here. So by the time I woke up from my nap, it was like really not happy. I checked in with my girl, my rock doctor friend, Sabrina. Okay. The fuck? How did I get blisters? What the fuck did I do to get blisters on it? You think that was from my ginger garlic poultice? I mean, that's the only thing I've done. Fuck. But look at that. And she was really concerned. Because when I woke up from my nap after my poultice, there were like, it was fiery, angry red, and there were like blisters around it, right? And so then Sabrina's like talking staph infection and getting to a clinic. You know, this is a Sunday, right? So it would be whatever. She convinced me. She's like, yeah, you got to get something on it right now. Then I took my, by this point, hurting foot for a walk to go find some plantain, which grows freaking everywhere. Pictures there, it's the best stuff. If you don't have any way to chop it up, just I'm gonna chew it up, right? You could just, that stuff has it'll hurt, it'll take care of pain, it'll relieve itching, it draws out whatever's going on. It's very analgesic, it's very anti everything, right? So plantain, that was what I wanted to be the main ingredient of my poultice. Ingredients is on my phone, so I can't tell you what was in it. Anyway, I'll have it up here. I know it had a bunch of turmeric in it, because by the time I was done, my foot was freaking stained yellow for 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, because I kept doing it. The ingredients were plantain leaves, local honey. I was out of Manuka honey. I would have used Manuka if I would have had it. Castor oil, oregano, okra, turmeric, a clove of garlic, witch hazel, thyme, and basil. And so then I would put this poultice on my foot and just let it soak. Labor Day weekend, I sat there with my foot soaking the whole weekend. And then Sabrina had me doing hot compresses. So she'd be like, put a hot pack on it for 20 minutes and then take it off, and then 20 minutes and then take it, you know, so back and forth to heat it up, which I gotta say, man, it hurt. That freaking, I have those little heat pack things, just that little baby heat pack, it made that foot hurt so good. It was, you could just totally tell it was pulling stuff out. My cats were not very fond of the smell of fresh crushed garlic first thing in the morning. It was quite comical, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, talk to Doc. So this is 3 days later from getting the splinter, right? So got it on the 1st. 2nd, it was no big deal. 3rd, it decided it didn't like me anymore. And by the 4th, I had drawn the circle around it, and the redness, not like the swollen part. The swollen part didn't get any bigger, but the redness, you know, kept going. And so I talked to Doc, and she's like, iodine, ACV, and Epsom salts. Soak it. So I got a bread tin, because it's just a little bit too short for my foots, and soaked my foot. Soaked it, then I'd do a poultice, and then I'd soak it, and then I'd do a poultice, and I'd do heat, and I'd do a poultice, and I'd do just back and forth, as you can see. So anyway, by the 5th, I wasn't convinced that I had all the splinter out. And so I dug around in there a little bit to get to it. All right, so it looks like the redness is just right around where the little blisters in the opening are at this point. My higher self said to let it air out a little bit. since I had it covered with a Band-Aid all morning. It says doc. Then that's the day that I remembered that linen is healing. My duvet cover that I use as a blanket is linen, and it came in a linen bag. And so I decided I was going to put this linen bag over my foot while I slept. Okay, so it's like bedtime Monday night, Tuesday night. Can you see this? So we look pretty good. Now I'm gonna do a little experiment tonight. The red, as you see, looks like it's like coagulated blood type of thing, and the blisters all kind of like were good at like draining themselves type of thing. I'm gonna wrap my foot in linen tonight. We'll see how that looks in the morning. I needed to let it air out. My higher self was like, let it air out. You've had a bunch of crap on it for days now. Let it air out. So I did not want to get cooties in it, so therefore I put the linen bag around it to keep it cootie free, right? And then linen is healing, right? It's got a vibration of 3,000, so it's actually like seriously helping to heal. And I tell you what, it was phenomenally different and so much better the next morning. And then by 2 days later, I was like, oh, that was the 6th that I did that. The next night after that, next day I went to the pool and went freaking country dancing with cowboy boots on a couple of days after that. So it was like, it went from fine to no big deal to we don't like you to my friend Sabrina was about to take my ass to the emergency room to get something done, and I'm like, no, if I'm a natural healer, I'm gonna freaking heal this. It's possible. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show people that this is possible. So here it is, from a staph infection that most people would have gone to the emergency room or the if you hurt yourself, look to nature. Nature will heal you. And the linen, for fuck's sake. That to me was like the overnight on that linen. That was crazy. So everybody needs to have a linen bag to be able to shove a body part in when they sleep at night. I'm just saying. Or linen sheets. I think that's way too much talking about this stuff. I hope that you guys have confidence that you too can heal yourself without running to the doctor to get a prescription or an antibiotic that is going to jack up your GI system. That's why I wouldn't do it. I knew what they were going to do is give me an antibiotic. And no, thanks. I've worked way too hard to get my digestive system into flow. And that right there will jack you before anything else. So I was going to heal myself. I am a healer. I know that it's possible. That is it. And happy healing.